Hey guys, this is Blake with the Three Hand Hunter channel. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to show you a pretty special, very unique, kind of, well, it's rare and they're getting more rare as days go by. This is the Casio Duro, the Marlin, number mdv-102, the Super Illuminator. Now this is the watch that was really before the Casio Duro. So if you look at the current Casio Duro, that's going to be the current generation. This is the previous generation from what I understand. This is the American version, and the difference between like the American version, the European version, the number is mdv-1054, but you won't see the little Marlin sign down below. I've had this watch now in my collection now for over a year, probably about a year and a half. I had taken some time hunting one of these down because they are very hard to find. What's more difficult to find is one that's in decent condition. I'm going to talk about that, and I want to talk a little bit more about this watch and what makes it so unique. But before I do that, I just want to say if you like to see watches that are a little bit different, not your typical YouTube channel showing you the latest and greatest micro brand or latest release from whatever company, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I try to bring you things that are unique, things that I've hunted down for, and tell you a little bit of history behind the watches. So feel free to subscribe, and if you've had any experience with the Casio Marlin Super Illuminator, make sure you jump in the comments below, because I know these are, it's like these watches have a cult following. It's interesting, when I got this watch, I've had it in my collection for a while, and I ended up wearing it a lot on a NATO strap. I ended up wearing it on this Barton strap. I'll talk a little bit about that here in a second. And then the YouTuber Watch Chris, he actually got one in a trade and he did a video on it, and I'm like, dang it, he beat me to do it, because I had this watch in my collection for maybe like 6 or 8 months before then. I just hadn't made a video about it because I was busy doing other videos. But this is a really unique watch, and I'm going to talk about it and what makes it unique. Well, first and foremost, like I said, a little bit more difficult to find, especially in this condition. What's probably the most difficult thing to find is having one that has a strap, the original strap, that isn't all cracked, beat up. And you can see the strap is actually in very, very good condition. What's also more difficult to find is finding one that doesn't have a bezel insert that's scratched up. This does have a couple little nicks and scratches, but overall, it's in pretty good shape. And then also the crystal, since it's like a mineral type of crystal that Casio has, these get scratched up pretty easily because you can see it's nice and domed. So it protrudes out. People knock it up against walls and things because it is a Casio. I mean, we wear G-Shocks. For those of us that wear G-Shocks, I mean, you can see mine's beat up. It's scratched up around the outside. I use this all the time, everywhere. And I think these old Marlin watches have been used quite extensively over the years. But what makes the watch really unique is the Super Illuminator portion of this watch. Check this out. Now I'm going to do it underneath the lights in dark and show you how dang cool that is to be able to light it up at night. You know, why they discontinued this model, I think, is probably because people, click on that quite a bit and the batteries would end up dying out relatively quickly. But overall, I think it's really cool if you can find one. There are a couple drawbacks with this watch, but let's talk really quick about the dimensions. So this watch, it is a 42.5 millimeter watch, and then it's obviously got this 2 o'clock crown, which is the Illuminator button. It is a 200 meter water resistant, so you can see you have a screw down crown, and then from there, you can pull out it hacks. Oops. Yeah, let's go ahead and, oh, there, it's unscrewed. I didn't have it unscrewed. It hacks. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in because this is actually timed correctly. It's got date or a date complication. And my example actually runs fairly accurately. I know it's a quartz, but it's a great grab and go watch. And so I'm going to go ahead and screw back down that the crown. It is 200 meters of water resistance, but because there's this Illuminator button, I don't know how much I trust the gaskets in here, being it is an older watch. I believe, and it's hard to find out, and maybe if you guys own this watch or you've owned this watch over the years, I believe this dates to pre like 2010, 2012, something like that. But I'm not 100% sure. But you can see the case back, pretty unique. It's got the Duro. You can see this has been scratched from a previous battery change. But overall, this watch is really cool, and it's a 42 millimeter. It's going to wear like 42, 43, pretty true to its size because of this 2 o'clock crown. But like I said, finding one that the strap is in a decent condition is really hard to do. Usually these straps are really beat up, but this one, like I said, it's fairly decent condition. I don't wear it on this strap. I actually wear it on this 21 millimeter Barton strap. So going back to the dimensions, you can see it is just over 13, well, just 14 millimeters because of the big dome crystal that you see there. It's a 21 millimeter lug opening. It's like 21 millimeter. You can see it's 21, right? And that makes it a little bit more difficult for straps. That's why I have a 21 millimeter Barton strap that I use with it. Also, I can slip in a 22 millimeter NATO strap, as you see in some of these, some of the extra footage. Polished around the case, but it does have brushed lugs. One of the downsides to this watch, in my opinion, is the bezel. The bezel action is not great. Well, it's very tingy. You can almost visualize the spring inside. You notice how I'm turning the bezel. It's hard to get a grip on it with your 2 fingers, but because of these notches, I just use my non-existent fingernails, but I can turn it around and it lines up perfectly. So, you know, these watches were really popular. And like I said, they've got a very good cult following because they're so unique. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my wrist so you can see what it looks like on a 7¼ inch wrist, and it wears super comfortable, especially with the strap. But if you put it on, you know, a Barton strap or another 21 millimeter strap, it wears great. And you can see it is actually a very comfortable watch. You can see it right here. Very comfortable watch, very cool watch, and like I said, very unique. And if you want to get like the European version, which are also equally hard to find, that's the mdv-102, and it doesn't have the little dolphin or marlin logo. But as you can see, very cool watch, and it's very easy to hit the Illuminator light and make it light up at night. It's very cool. It only lights up for a couple seconds and it's gone, so it doesn't wear down the battery. But I wanted to show you this watch because they're hard to find, and if you can find one in great condition, you know, kudos to you, because like I said, they're getting more difficult by the day. And there's a cult following, so I can't imagine these are gonna get any cheaper moving forward. Anyway, if you've made it this far, let me introduce myself. My name is Blake. I'm a bit of a watchaholic. If you made it this far, you're probably a watchaholic too. So thanks for spending your time with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.